I'm Jen Cherney, and we're here with 10 Minutes with Anthony Aliopoulos. Okay, so first question. She's been working out hard for 3-4 years, doing a lot of squats, lunges, leg extensions. She wants to get her buttocks up, like you see on every model on the internet. So the question is it possible to get this without plastic surgery?
No, a flat ass is a flat ass. I'm just kidding. I was just, of course, you can, we encourage you to send email questions to us. Go to anthonyiliopoulos.com, and there's a little button there that you can click to do an email and send us your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them on the air. One of the most attractive things that there can be on a woman is the tie-in between the hamstring and the buttocks. And what I would do, if you've truly been training hard for years and you're not really seeing what you want to see, I would do like 6 weeks of making your legs the priority. And what I mean by your legs, I mean splitting them up. Hamstrings from your quads to your calves. Don't work your hamstrings and your quads on the same day. Split those up. So maybe you train your hamstrings twice a week, train your quads twice a week, and train your calves 4 times a week. That's fine. For your hamstrings, do stiff leg deadlifts. Lightweight. That's not going to tense your back too much, but it's going to stress your hamstrings. And at the end of the movement, really flex your butt when you come to the top. Maybe I'll do a video in the future to demonstrate that. But what happens a lot of times if you do squats or you do you're working your quadriceps, if you do those first, the little muscles, the smaller muscles like the hamstrings or the calves don't get as much work. So when I like to separate my legs personally, I don't train the quads and hamstrings together, and just have a day where you do quads, you squat, you do some leg extensions, do your leg extensions first, and then the next day you train, or the day after you train your hamstrings, and you would do leg curls, line leg curls, and some stiff leg deadlifts, and really really stretch those hamstrings, and then just do your calves 3-4 times a week. It's fine. You're walking on your calves all the time. You can train them every day, really, if you wanted to.
Now a little sub question to kind of just continue on the Nicolas question. A lot of times girls, they do not want their legs to get any bigger, but all they want is just that one part, the buttocks, to go up. Is that even achievable without training the legs as a whole?
Well, your legs, they're going to get, you want to create that 3D effect, and what that, you want that quad sweep and everything else, and the leaner you are, your legs will actually be smaller but look more shapely. That's very, there's guys walking around all over the world with chicken legs that wish they had bigger legs. It's not easy to grow big legs, and you train them hard, you split them up like that, proper diet. It's all about the shape, how they're going to look like. If your legs are getting bigger, it's because you're getting fatter.
Is there, there's, you're saying there's no difference between a guy and a girl and a leg butt development?
There is a difference, because a huge difference. A lot of times women have a tendency to store fat in their hips and their legs, where sometimes a guy will be I'm worried about this guy knocking over the camera here, but I think he's cleared. But anyway, a lot of times you'll see a guy that has a beer gut, but he's got arms that are somewhat muscular and legs that are somewhat muscular. Girls a lot of times won't have a gut, but their arms will be fat and their legs will be fat. Men and women just hold fat in different places. the workouts are great, and it's very important. But your diet is what's ultimately going to shape your how your legs look like and everything else. And I know it's a thing now for for girls to have a big ass and stuff like that. I don't subscribe to that. To me, a fat ass is a fat ass.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so I rather see shape. Shape, legs in shape, arms in shape, all that stuff.
So next question on a similar subject. He, no matter how hard he trains, he can get his calves up. They're just small. What would you say to that?
Very common problem. You got to think, since somebody's 10 months old, they've been walking and using their calves. So, I mean, unless you do something drastic to stimulate growth, most people, unless they have genetically large calves, their calves aren't going to grow. I learned a stretch years ago. I certainly didn't invent it. I learned it from a guy who used to. It's DC dog crap. I do all these stretches. Years ago, he was a guy, before there was even an internet, that was writing articles and stuff, and very, a lot of influence over things that I do. He has a calf stretch that he came up with. Maybe we'll demonstrate it here. We're next to a leg press here. But another thing I've always done was done my calves on the Smith machine. So that way, because the biggest thing with in my opinion, the biggest thing with calf growth is the squeeze at the top. And you see a lot of people using machines, and they're kind of doing the stretch and then just, very fast motion where they're not really squeezing. I think don't worry about how far you go down. If you're on the Smith machine, your foot is flat. Go all the way up on your tippy toes, and lighten the weight so you can do that, and really stretch the movement. And then you get your calves nice and pumped up. You do this stretch that I'm going to show you in a little bit here, and you just train calves every day. If you have bad calves, train them every day, but at least 3 times a week. Just train them like a mother effer, as they would say.
Okay, let's go take a look.
Okay, so let's just say I've done 3 sets of 25 calf raises on the Smith machine. Now I'm going to come over to the leg press and put something light. You'll get stronger as you go. 1 plate each side, and keep the lock on for safety, okay? And make sure your knees are locked. If you have to, put your hands on your knees to lock your knees. And you stretch all the way down until it hurts. And you hold that for 15 seconds. 100, 2, 100, blah, 15 seconds. Then up, squeeze, and then lower for 5 seconds. Hold it for 15 seconds. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 15, up and down. But make sure you push on those knees. You keep the legs straight. So the idea is your leg is like this, and the calf is bending like this. And that's your muscles hot already because you've done those. You've done the leg press, calf raises. I'm sorry, on the Smith machine. So the calf is hot. Now it's like stretching out like silly putty, stretching it out, and then you keep doing that 3 times a week. It's going to stretch it out every time. Stretch it out. It's going to start not coming back to where it was before, but a larger place, and that's how you get your calves bigger. That's it.
Okay, so that's all we have for you today. This is 10 Minutes with Anthony Eliopoulos. My name is Jane Cherney, and we'll see you next week. Do not forget to send us your questions.